What bothers me about Breast Cancer Awareness Month is the business of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Is that when you start going around, when you start seeing on TV and you start seeing in the grocery store and in restaurants, all of these different pink things, pink food items. The other day I saw pink hummus in the grocery store. And it's the business of breast cancer awareness. And what bothers me is that since breast cancer awareness has been what it is, there hasn't been any less breast cancer. Women, apparently, by the numbers, don't seem to be getting less breast cancer, even though we are very aware that breast cancer is there. Because I don't even know what the point of being aware of breast cancer. Are we just supposed to be aware and then just, mark it off on a list like, oh, okay, there's definitely breast cancer. It's definitely a thing. Way to go, November. You really hit it home for me. I don't know what the point of breast cancer awareness is. And what bothers me is the message that it sends. Look, we should all be supportive of anybody going through cancer treatment. And I know breast cancer is a huge point of worry for many women. And I myself have known women who have not only gotten breast cancer or been diagnosed with breast cancer, but also survived. But the problem is that what we're doing is we're scaring women into running to their doctors so that they can get mammograms and, put the boobs under the lights and see if there's any cancer going on in there. Now, I'm not against screening and making sure that you're healthy, but what seems to be happening by the numbers is that the amount of mammograms that are being given is disproportionate to the amount of women who are actually being helped by cancer treatment. So what am I talking about? I want to show you guys this study that was done in the European Journal of Cancer, Mammography Screening, a Major Issue in Medicine. And this report or this paper is very skeptical of the business of breast cancer. They're very skeptical that maybe we are giving too many mammograms and maybe, just maybe, we seem to be overdiagnosing breast cancer. Because there might be a difference between, actual breast cancer and signs of breast cancer. And essentially what happens is a lot of times we're finding signs of breast cancer and we're giving those patients the same extreme treatment that we're giving, verified breast cancer diagnoses, okay? So essentially what we're doing is we're giving women chemo and radiation and surgery, and maybe that might be going a little bit too far, okay? So I want to pull out some quotes from this study. Overdiagnosis is commonplace, representing 20% or more of all breast cancers among women invited to screening and 30 to 50% of screen-detected cancers. Overdiagnosis leads to overtreatment and inflicts considerable physical, psychological, and economic harm on many women. Overdiagnosis has also exerted considerable disruptive effects on the interpretation of clinical outcomes expressed in percentages instead of rates, or as overall survival instead of mortality rates or stage-specific survival. Rates of radical mastectomies have not decreased following the introduction of screening and keep rising in some countries. So basically what they're saying there is that women are being highly encouraged to go to their doctor with the intention of getting the mammogram before they even know if they're at risk or if there's even a sign that they might have breast cancer. And essentially what they're saying is that the amount of mastectomies, the amount of women having these surgeries, removing boobs, doing these preventative procedures is not correlative to the amount of that you would think you were seeing in rising rates of breast cancer. So in a way, what this article is saying is that maybe some of these diagnoses, maybe some of these worries for cancer are just completely unfounded. Reappraisals of Swedish mammography trials demonstrate that the design and statistical analysis of these trials, because they did these trials in Sweden, were different from those of all trials on screening for cancers other than breast cancer. We found compelling indications that these trials overestimated reductions in breast cancer mortality associated with screening, in part because of the statistical analyses themselves, in part because of improved therapies and underreporting of breast cancer as the underlying cause of death in screening groups. Results of the Greater New York Health Insurance Plan trial are biased because of the underreporting of breast cancer cases and deaths that occurred in women who did not participate in screening. After 17 years of follow-up, the United Kingdom AIDS trial showed no benefit from mammography screening starting at age 39 to 41. For a woman with an intermediate risk of breast cancer, i.e. 10 to 29% lifetime risk, including women with extremely dense breast at mammography, there is no evidence that more frequent mammography screening or screening with other modalities actually reduces the risk of breast cancer death. A plethora of epidemiological data shows that since 1985, progress in the management of breast cancer patients has led to marked reductions in stage-specific breast cancer mortality, even for patients with disseminated diseases, i.e. stage 4 cancer diagnosis. In contrast, the epidemiological data point to a marginal contribution of mammography screening in the decline of breast cancer mortality. Moreover, the more effective the treatment, the less favorable are the harm to benefit balance of screening mammography. So there's a lot to unpack there. The first thing that I want to say is, when it comes to a lot of these studies, when they throw out numbers like more women are saved because of, getting mammograms early detection, all this stuff. Well, what this study is saying is that a lot of times those numbers are skewed, and the epidemiological science, the basis of that, doesn't match what that claim is actually saying. And a lot of times when they're talking about, women who get mammograms and then maybe who die later, it's being underreported that those women actually died from breast cancer, or sometimes that that's not put down as the cause of death. So that tends to skew the numbers as well. So essentially what you're getting here is you're getting a lot of claims that, mammograms are saving the lives of all these women, when in fact the data doesn't say that. So what we're being told is that, hey, we got to get early detection. You got to go put your boobs under the lights and see if you got breast cancer. But really what is actually happening is that the real data, the epidemiological data, does not support that claim. In fact, what they're finding is that because of the underreporting of women who are dying with breast cancer after getting mammograms, that we're not getting the real story that maybe getting a mammogram does not, in fact, save women's lives. And a lot of people put forth the claim that maybe mammograms are dangerous. Maybe the radiation in mammograms actually might contribute to more breast cancer. But we don't know, because sometimes when a woman dies of breast cancer, her cause of death isn't being put as breast cancer. It could be put as something else. And so you can't make the connection that maybe the mammogram she got is actually tied to her dying of breast cancer. Now, this could be pure speculation, but what this article is saying is exactly that if we're going to have this discussion, that we're going to dedicate a whole month to breast cancer awareness, and the whole point of it is to encourage more women to go get mammograms because that saves lives. Well, let's be honest about that, because it doesn't seem to save lives. And in some instances, it might actually be making the situation worse, which is why when it comes to this month of November, aside from it being my birthday month, it tends to be a very confusing month, and it is a real frustrating month. And I really feel for women who are getting this confusing message, because prevention isn't going to the doctor and getting your boobs put under the light. Prevention is leading a low-stress lifestyle. It's eating the right diet. It's exercising. It's finding balance in your life. It's doing preventative health measures to keep yourself from developing cancer in the first place, especially if you got the BRCA gene, which puts you at a higher risk for breast cancer. You have to, a lot of women are drinking. A lot of women aren't sleeping. A lot of women are stressing. A lot of women are genuinely unhappy with their lives. A lot of women have a lot of problems that contribute to the things that cause cancer. Okay, so if you're not leading a healthy lifestyle, you can get all the mammograms in the world. It's not going to keep breast cancer out of you. In fact, it might contribute to the formation of breast cancer. And in some cases, again, they might be finding, a little bit of, what could be perceived as possibly a small tumor. But what they're going to do is, instead of giving you better precautionary measures that might be more effective than chemo, they're putting you right on chemo. They're ripping that stuff out. And the consequence of that is you have to deal with the financial and the physical, inconveniences, to say the least, of these different procedures. So really, if we're going to have this conversation about breast cancer awareness, let's be real with it. Let's put the real facts on the table and talk about it. And if you're a breast cancer survivor, I mean, my heart goes out to you. More power to you. If you have breast cancer, I mean, again, I love you, and I'm praying for you, or showing as much love as I can. But I'm only bringing this up because I've seen firsthand what the breast cancer industry is doing to people and doing to families. And if they're not going to be fully transparent and truthful, then we need to expose that. We need to have that discussion, and we need to put it on the table instead of just scaring women into running to their doctors every year and essentially increasing their risk of possibly getting breast cancer. But I'd love to know what you think. If you agree with this, if you disagree with these comments, I know it can be highly controversial. Cancer is a very scary thing to talk about. It's a very scary thing to think about, but we have to have more of these honest discussions because it is a scourge on our society. But whatever your thoughts are, please leave it down in the comments. I'd love to know. Also, if you haven't done this yet, remember to subscribe to the channel, give the video a big thumbs up, and share this on your social media with the people you love and care about. And also, look out for more videos because they're coming at you Monday through Friday. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.